Scene 3.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Mohd Shahredza bin Ridhwan, Matric number 262906, and I will explain about the separatist conflict in the Mindanao. But first of all, to understand this conflict further, we need to go back to history when on the background and how it happens. The region of the Philippines has been divided into three parts, which is Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Before the colonial era, the arrival of Islam has arrived in the Philippines in the 6th century by the merchants from the east and the west. After the arrival of Spanish power, after a few centuries, the Luzon and Visayas has been influenced by the Christianity. But the Mindanao, who has embracing the teaching of Islam and accepting this as part of their culture, has rejected the colonialization by the Spanish. So they did a resistance towards the colonials, and even after the Americans has taken over the Philippines in the Treaty of Paris in 1896, the Filipinos have been divided into two groups, which is the Christian Filipinos and the Muslim Filipinos. After the World War II, the Philippines has come to liberate themselves and by gaining independence from the American. But since the Mindanao did not wants to be merged with the rest of the Philippines, but still the three of the regions has gained independence in 1946. And what makes the conflict start more than 50 years, and it's because in the incidents that happened in 1968 when the President Macapagal has ordered the Operation Merdeka, which is the effort to claim Sabah as part of the Sultanate of Sulu's territory, which has been included in the newly formed of Malaysia. But however, things got worse when the recruits that consist of the Moros men were killed, and that event has been called the Jabadiyah Massacre. And the details of the massacre is not publicized and exposed to the public and medias, and that caused an uproar to the publics and the media, especially from the Moros. But with that incident, it has created a separatist group from the year 1968 up until today, which has become the main player of this conflict. The main player of this conflict is the separatist groups, which are the Moro National Liberation Front, MNLF, Moro Islamic Liberation Front, MILF, Abu Sayyaf, Bangsa Moro Islamic Freedom Fighter, the New People's Army. That's part of the separatist group and against the governments of Philippines. Okay, that's all for history. There are various solution approach that has been implemented by the government of Philippines. The first one is in 1976, 1996, in the year of 2008, 2011, 2014, and finally in the year of 2019, which marks the end of the resistance from Bangsa Moro of Mindanao. To analyze this conflict in the perspective of international conflict management, I have decided to choose two tools of conflict analysis. The first one is the conflict trees. The second one is conflict triangle. Okay, to explain the conflict trees, it has three parts. Consists of the roots, the core problem, and the impact, which is on the branch. The roots of this conflict is, of course, the migration, the culture of resistance from the separatist group, the economic injustice that happened in Mindanao, religious and cultural intervention from the Luzon and Visayas into the Mindanao. Of course, this leads to the core problem of this conflict, which is the separatist movement by the Bangsa Moro against the government of Philippines. And this core problem has grown much more impact, which is the economic exclusive of Mindanao, the food insecurity, social and political instability, and the most obvious of all is heavy human and property casualties. Another tool of conflict analysis is the conflict triangle, which consists of three components, which is situation, attitude, and behavior. And these three components can be related to each other. For example, the situation can lead to attitude, attitude can lead to behavior, and behavior can lead to another situation. For example, in this conflict, incompatibility of interest among the actors, which is the government of Philippines, and the separatist groups has resulted in the entrusted feelings among each other. This can be seen when the treaties is trying to be negotiated, and this shows that the situation, which is the incompatibility of interest, leads to the attitude, which is interested feelings. Another example is the behavior that can lead to situation. For example, the 1976 agreements, which is the first step of the two sides of actor are successfully dealing with the first step, and the first step leads to the emergence of another separatist group that comes from the MNLF, which is the MILF has become another important actors in this conflict. So in other words, the behavior leads to the situation, another situation. In conclusion, Mindanao conflict has almost come to an end when the President of Filipino, President Duterte, has made an agreement with the separatist group of MILF to reach an agreement of receiving Mindanao as the federal state instead of autonomous region. But still, another separatist groups that consists of jihadists and another small insurgency group is still there, challenging the government to reach their interests. So, what could happen next? Are there will be any more high challenge towards the government? Are the new federals of Mindanao will try to keep up with the development of another region? Is there gonna be peace all the way up to the end? That's a question that we have to ask or answer on another day. That's all for me. Assalamualaikum, and I'll see you.